Okay, I wanted to make my first video of the post 100 video series era, and yeah, I wanted to start first with, I don't know, kind of explaining a little bit more. I talked about this in the last video of the 100 video series, aka the interview with Prerat. I made a little outro. I talk a little bit about that here, but I wanted to expand more on that and tie it into something that I watched yesterday that I probably will make another video about because I found it interesting. And yeah, well, first of all, kind of a meta thing. This may be kind of way too long-winded or something, so yeah, it's probably not what I have to stop doing. Well, I don't have to stop doing anything actually. I have this theory that, well, not theory, but I want to condense stuff that I have already made into better packaged stuff. And this is not part of that, right? I will talk more about that after or in another video, but yeah, this video is about more specifically about the thing of why did I take so long, expanding on that, but yeah, it's still not like super punchy. Why didn't I blah blah blah, or how can you not stop, or something like that. It's not like some lessons, it's still me thinking out loud about stuff. But yeah, I want to kind of move a little bit towards that part of making stuff better, right? Not necessarily the editing or anything like that, but like my way of communicating stuff, making it better. So yeah, I'm going to start by the things that I said in the video. Right, in the video let's see this. In the video I say that I was making this little outro because I was thankful to Prerat, and if this was one of the many other projects that I started, I would have canned it, right? But I wanted to get the 100 video series out, right? And I will expand a little bit more about this after in the example I have. And yeah, I wanted to say also to Prerat, well, that it really was a special episode for me, right? It's different than the rest of my 100 videos. This one is actually like, yeah, it's better because it has someone else in it, right? And someone else that is cool and that I admire. And then I explain what I took so long, right? And yeah, part of it I say that that was the audio issues that I mentioned, which is that I laugh too loudly and all this. And I also say that because I don't like seeing my own face editing it, right? And that I don't like hearing my own voice editing it, and that it was like abrasive to me, right? And this is true. I stand by it. Well, I said it like yesterday. And yeah, that I kind of use laughter as a tension diffusion mechanism, not only because I found stuff funny, which I did, but also because I kind of tend to like nervously laugh, I guess. And that's what I was perceiving myself, I guess. That's how I was perceiving myself while editing my own video of myself. And I didn't like that, so I had like a lot of resistance towards that. Yeah, I wanted to bring up the resistance point because this video by Steven Pressfield, can you see it? Yeah, right. Like he defines like the main enemy, he defines it as resistance. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I read this book, and yeah, it's a pretty short book. It's like 150 pages or something, and the pages are like this, right? They have like big margins and like a lot of spacing between the letters and between the lines and all this, right? So it's not like a super dense, it's not like fucking Infinite Jest, which is like a fucking thick-ass book with the smallest text you've ever seen in your fucking life, right? It's not this Roberto Bolaño novel, which even in this like pocket book, it's like, I don't know, kind of pretty fucking dense text, right? And yeah, and like 1,000 pages, right? No, it's a 150 page book, pretty light, right? But yeah, I don't know. It had this resistance concept that kind of stuck with me, right? Oh, and also I think Visa talks about resistance, and about this same book, I think this book is the classic procrastination book that I bought sometime in some random time. But I talked about it after, and I remembered the topics that when he talks about it, right? And I don't know. I kind of relate to that feeling of resistance, right? And the book, if I recall correctly, it says something like you have to push through the resistance and all this, and I end up doing it, and I do feel better because of having pushed through the resistance that I have toward this podcast, and I think I was able to push through the resistance, in part thanks to it being a project with prerat, right? And in part, I don't know, thanks to, I think it was mainly that. And also because I wanted to because it was part of this 100 videos thing that I wanted to finish, right? So I could do stuff like what I'm doing now, which is, I guess, the actual purpose of the 100 video series, which is to make more stuff, right? I was holding back on making this kind of shit because I had put on this responsibility on me, right? I was feeling this resistance because it was in the project, but I was able to push through the resistance because it was in the project, right? It's some kind of strange loop like this that's interesting, right? And I wanted to tie this together with something I watched yesterday. I watched this 3-hour video, almost 3 hours, essentially at 1x speed. I watched almost everything at 2x speed, but at some point in this interview, I think minute 10, minute 15, like they are talking about TikTok or something and saying how it's bad for society or whatever. Not exactly like this, but that classic discourse. And they're talking about the importance in like pausing and like timing and all this. And I could sense that the interview was made by like this, right? They left the space, the pauses. And I'm not doing it on purpose, but I've realized that I was kind of doing it while. But they left these pauses that Emma does while thinking and all this. But you can tell that it's not lazy editing, you know? You can see that in the pause, they widen the shot. So the comments talk about it, right? See the insane power, the wide shots and the silence within the conversation, however the feel of the video is bonkers. This is very true, right? It's like this long conversation with this important figure. It's a great video. You have to watch it. Actually, I made a thread about it. No one fucking liked it, but well. It's a good. I made a thread because I was really liking it. And essentially the video is good. And I watched it at 1x speed because I liked it. And because I sensed that it was important to be present, I don't know. And I really enjoyed watching the video that way, actually. Right? It was one of those videos that you feel like you can watch like that, right? For example, because someone I watch a lot, for example, is Alex Hormozi, and I mention him a lot and all this, but his videos are the type of shit that you're like, I'll watch this at 2x speed, right? Because he's always saying the same things in every video, right? He has this simple framework. I've already seen it a lot, like 1,000 times, so I kind of just need to repeat it, right? I need to somehow integrate it or something like that. But but the video itself, it's in such a way that it's well made, right? But they're made in such a way that you're like, give me more, right? So this video is edited in this boom, 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 like really fast-paced way, using like a lot of props, a lot of changing environments, a lot of different things, right? That kind of are communicating in a way, consume me fast, right? It's like, I want to hold you here, right? So I'm like, so it's like, there's like even more. It's like watching a mrbeast video at 2x speed kind of sounds ridiculous at first, right? Because they are already cut at like the optimal velocity for retention or something, some kind of shit like this, right? But I still watch them at 2x speed because I can fucking get the information like that, right? It's like, it's not that they are boring to watch at 1x speed, but it's like they are meant to be watched at like the highest ability you can, right? At like the highest consumption ability you can. It's kind of like that is the vibe of the video. That is what the video itself is communicating, right? This happens with, I guess, with most of the YouTube today. But this video is kind of like the exception, right? This video is made with care. It's made with, yeah, it's like a Casey Neistat video back in the day, or like maybe, yeah, probably not now as well. They are like made with care, and with purpose, but they leave you like but you feel the need to like, I feel the need at least to like put it back at one speed. Okay, this is a whole fucking tangent. I think I wanted to talk about this in another video where I'm going to like talk about more notes on the podcast itself. But yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, one thing that I wanted to tie to this, why I took so long to release the podcast, was this part where they talk about this line.
Is done now. We don't have that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like, we aren't on TV shows that have end dates.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We also run our own network that is just there, sitting there, and we're the programming executive. So like, we don't have that of like, oh, okay, the Emma Chamberlain vlog season is done now. We don't have that infrastructure to decide.
Or even being like, and YouTube didn't pick it back up.
Yeah.
So like, what am I going to do?
There's actually something beautiful about that.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, they didn't say yes. You know, like,
I don't have a choice.
yeah, I don't have a choice. But when you have a choice, it actually haunts you. That you're actively making a choice to not.
Yeah.
And that is a
Yeah. I got really hit when he said the haunts you part. I was like, fuck, it does haunt you, right? It is haunting. And yeah, I'm not fucking Colin Samir, I'm not fucking Emma Chamberlain, right? I'm the fucking opposite of it, actually, probably. But I don't know. While listening to this whole fucking thing, 3 hours, they are talking about it in a craft way, right? In an artist type way. That's why I brought this book up as well. It reminded me of this resistance topic. This book is like about creative purposes. Steven Pressfield is like an author, and yeah, this is about creative stuff, right? And I don't really consider my videos creative because they are just me talking, but I still feel like that, right? And I guess they feel like that making a podcast. So I think I feel like that. I feel kind of seen in that way, right? In that editing this podcast was kind of a creative pursuit in a way, right? I don't know. And yeah, I really related to this haunts you line, and I was like, one part of why I think I get this haunting feeling, right? And why they get the haunting feeling as well is because, well, they are American, right? So it's kind of embedded in American culture to like grind set and all this type of shit, right? And I am not American, but I do drink a lot of this kind of hustle juice or hustle culture type shit, right? And I've been drinking it for years. So even if now people say it less, I still keep drinking like the new varieties. For example, the Alex hormozi that I mentioned before, he's like this new person, right? And I wanted to kind of think about what of this Alex hormozi type shit can lead, because I think it's kind of a missing a different frames issue, right? Alex hormozi is like talking about money, right? So it's like if you only care about money, it's like you can follow this shit, right? It's like if you have a company, like your company, if you yeah, for example, this is like the trash to cash business. If you have a trash company that you want to get started with, he tells you that what you have to do, right? And he puts this simple blueprint. But the thing is that I don't just want to make money, right? I want to make money. I want to make money fast, obviously. That's why I'm brought to these things. But it is not like my goal, right? And it is not what makes me happy as well, right? It does make me happy. Like, a lot of money does make me happy in a lot of ways, right? I can travel, I can do shit, right? But it is not just that, right? It is that there is some baseline shit and also some, not baseline, but like increased happiness that comes with money. And yeah, in my case, it's like, since I drink American shit, right? I drink American culture. It's like my happiness levels have probably been raised. Like my needs of money plus happiness tip shit has been like raised or whatever, raised to that standard, right? So like my brain, it's like maps to that kind of lifestyle or that kind of, those kind of, not lifestyle, but like, yeah, the costs, the shit, like the costs of that type of shit. It's like New York costs New York money. Miami costs Miami money. Los Angeles costs Los Angeles money, right? And I don't want to live in Los Angeles forever, right? But I would like to spend like, I don't know, a month in Los Angeles, maybe for every year or something like this, right? And it's like, fuck, a month in Los Angeles. It's like I was looking at some kind of hotel that was like cool. And it's like, yeah, I would like to spend a week in that hotel. And that week is fucking $3,500 staying in a week, right? It's a good hotel. But it was like, it's not like the luxury hotel that is like, I don't know, it is in a great location. It was in like West Hollywood or type shit, right? So it is interesting, but it's like, it is interesting to me, right? It is, I'm not just like flexing in like some Hilton or hotel or something. No, it was a cool hotel that is in a nice, in an interesting location culturally for me, right? And it still costs a fuckload of money, right? It's like, if I want to go to New York or whatever to do like culturally New York type shit, I still will be spending a lot of fucking money because it is fucking New York, right? So yeah. Yeah, so one reason I took so long to release the podcast, I think, is that one, right? It's like the reasons I mentioned before of like the audio thing or the image issues or the me not liking or like feeling the resistance. Like all of these things are true, but also another reason is like this hunting feeling that I get, I think, because of these hustle culture type shit, entrepreneurs type things. I think this is what I wanted to say in this video. I think this is... Yeah, I think this is all I had to say. I'm going to pause for a little bit to see if I think of something else I could say, but... Yeah, okay. I don't have anything more to say. So if you are curious about my energy and my notes on this podcast, like one of the rest of the notes that I showed a little bit before, yeah, check out the video. I'm going to record it after I recorded this one, but yeah, check it out.